Dark Cold Cream is working by the way it sparkles and tingles on your skin. 6 weeks of regular use has been scientifically proven to turn back the clock by at least 5 years. Ladies, your husbands will be the envy of all their work colleagues when you walk into the country club on his arm with your glowing skin and sparkling eyes. Undark Cold Cream, the only choice for the luminous lady.
Have you heard? There's a brand new drink on the market. Radathor is all the rage. Just a few drops of radium in your water creates a charge of energy that will have you positively glowing. This elixir of life has been scientifically proven to heal sore muscles and revitalize aching bones. Doctors recommend 5 to 7 glasses per day to get the full effect. Radathor for that radiant feeling.
Radium, oh radium, liquid sunshine in a cup. Drain it down and drink it up. Radium sparkles in a cup. Clears your skin and calms your woes. Tingles from your head to toes. Radium is just the best. Head and shoulders above the rest. Drain it down and drink it up. Radium sparkles in a cup. Radium, oh radium, an illuminated mystery. The greatest find in history. And we owe it all to Marie Curie.
Feels like it took me forever to get here. I had so much to do.
You're right on time. Look at the sky. The sun is setting, the moon is full, and the stars promise to be absolutely enchanting. As long as I live, I don't think I'll ever get tired of stargazing.
Sunsets are my favorite time of day. But look at my hair and my dress.
Your hair is beautiful. And as far as your dress, I brought this.
So we couldn't. It's wasteful.
It's extra. Besides, you know the studio loves it when we paint ourselves up. What better way to advertise? By the way, Tom's already inside.
He is?
Walked in about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, but what if he thinks I'm too young? What if we don't have anything in common?
So he's older. So what? And anything in common? Are you kidding? He is a family-loving homebody, and so are you. Stop fretting. He already likes you or he wouldn't be here.
Oh, Peg, I wish I had your confidence.
Just take a breath. Take it one step at a time. And then do what I do. Look up. Any problems I have down here disappear when I look up at that magnificent sky. It reminds me that anything is possible. And who knows? Maybe one day I'll even go to college.
College?
Well, if Chuck can do it, I can do it. Besides, I thought it'd be neat to be the first one in my...
Of course it would, Peg. But that's not a step. That's a dream as far away as one of your stars.
Dreams are supposed to be ambitious. So, tonight, before Chuck's party is over, you're going to say hello to Tom.
Do that? Peg, you know me.
Yes, I know how nervous you get, Catherine. But I also know that when it's really important, you'll speak up. Remember, take a breath, take a step, look up.
Breath, step, up. Oh, my palms are already sweating.
It's going to be okay. And when he talks to you, just say hello. And if you can't do that, say hi. And remember, you're not alone. I'm right here with you. Here, in your heart. And There. How do I look? You're glowing! Now, let me soak in these last few moments before you knock the socks off of Tom Donohue and leave me forever.
Oh, that's impossible. You'll always be here. Remember?
All right, Catherine, no, I take a breath. Take a step and look up. It's all right. Okay. Hi. Big, you got this.
Hello.
Hi.
June 17th, 1923. This just in from Sicily. Mount Etna is erupted. The mountain, unable to contain the pressure of the volatile volcano, burst forth earlier today with unbridled fury.
That's the third or fourth one, isn't it?
Keen-eared listeners will recall that this is the fourth such eruption from this particular volcano since the turn of the 20th century, leaving many to already wonder how long before the next eruption happens. This is a developing story. Now these messages.
You know that undark cold cream is working by the way it sparkles and tingles on your skin. 6 weeks of regular use has been scientifically proven to turn back the clock by at least
Good
5
morning, Mary.
years.
You're here awful early.
Early birds, Grant. Early birds.
You get any worms?
Not a one.
How's the new kitten?
Perfect.
Liking the apartment?
Yes, I highly recommend living above a wheat market.
Really?
No, it's awful. It smells like death. But the cat loves it. Say, you ever get tired of it?
Of what?
Death. Sure feels like there are a lot more people dying than usual.
It's because you weren't around for the Spanish flu in 18. And that was a lot of death. Anyway, no thank you. Besides, death is part of life. And writing obits is honorable work, Mary Ross.
Says the guy who writes the front page news. Life is for the living, and living is reporting. I want to interview people, investigate scandals, see my name in a byline.
Be patient. You'll get moved up soon.
How? How am I supposed to prove myself? If only we could have a good crime spree, a jewel heist, or a volcano eruption instead of sweet elderly people dying peacefully at home. I'm running out of different ways to say they were a beloved member of the community.
First of all, we don't have volcanoes here. We don't have crime sprees. Nobody steals. There are no scandals. Well, not since old man Fitzbottom ran off with his secretary.
Rotten Fitzbottom. Now that's a headline. That's the kind of drama I'm looking for. Every day, this beast of a thing taunts me with all the exciting news happening in Chicago, happening all over the world.
And the likelihood that you're ever going to hear this just in from Ottawa on that radio of yours is tipping the scales at a whopping 0%. And you got to learn to be okay with that. I know I am. Frankly, if I go the rest of my life without another year like 1918, I'll be a happy man.
Could you please stop making sense and give me a little sympathy? The world is living and thriving, and I'm surrounded by death. I just want a little life once in a while.
Sorry, kid. You work in a newspaper. If you get what you want, you're not going to have a life. Listen, good luck. I mean it. But like I said, nothing significant ever happens in Ottawa, and that's just the way I like it.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Peg.
Fresh batch of watch styles just for you, Marie.
Just what I always wanted, a Scotty.
Ooh, I dated a Scotty once.
You want him, Helen?
I said once, you can have them and him.
Ms. Ella Cruz, these pocket bins are for you.
Ooh, I dated a Ben once. Once, he had 2 left feet.
How's things at home, Marie?
Terrible.
Why don't you move out? Mama said you could come live with us if you needed to.
Where would she fit?
Peg, your house barely has enough room for your family.
11 kids instead of 10 isn't gonna make that much of a difference.
It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm tough. I promise.
Well, I think you should stay here for as long as you can. It's good, reliable work. I love it. Being with you ladies is like being with the family I never had.
Marie, just stay here. It pays boatloads, and somebody needs to balance out Catherine's purity.
What do you mean me? I think you can handle that all on your own.
Oh, Catherine, you and Tom should dub with me and Chuck at the Roxy this Friday night. Chuck wants to see that new Harold Lloyd movie. I forget what it's called.
Safety Last.
That's the one.
I'll ask him tonight and I'll let you know tomorrow.
I notice you have a new flower from the mister nearly every day.
I do like him an awful lot.
I'll say you do. He makes your shoulders go up. Look at him. They're up around your ears.
I haven't met a man that can make my shoulders go up 2 inches, let alone that high.
That's love.
I guess I just needed to take that first step.
It's destined, no. Foreordained, not quite. Serendipitous. I love that word.
That ratty old dictionary of yours is about to fall apart. You should throw this one away and get yourself a new one.
Well, I can't do that. Be like throwing my brain away. This one has all my favorites underlined. Besides, it's a known fact that the proper definition of the right word can change everything.
I got a word you can look up.
Helen!
Girls, we've got a new worker to introduce. This is Miss Pearl Payne. Pearl, the girls will take great care of you. Won't you, girls?
Of course, Marie.
Welcome. I'm the self-appointed social captain of this vessel, and this group of ladies right here are the best in Illinois. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Pearl.
Tell us about yourself. I see you got a fella already.
We've been married a year.
What's he do?
Helen, you're being intrusive.
No, I'm not. I just want to know if he's the type to get jealous about money, because if you play your cards right, you'll make double when he pulls home.
Don't you mean pay your dials right?
He's an electrician.
What's the electrician name his dog?
Oh, no.
Sparky!
Marie, your jokes are so goofy.
I am shocked you would say that.
Here, Pearl, come sit by me.
Yes, we're all delighted to meet you.
Marie, it's enough.
The first thing you
Charlotte, you know tradition.
Helen, it's not tradition. You started it.
What is it?
You have to write while you're passing through.
Passing through?
Yeah, no matter what our sweet angelic Catherine may think, tile painting is not a lifetime occupation.
I said I liked being with my best friends. Sometimes.
This is the leg up our mothers and grandmothers came to this country for. So when a new girl starts, she tells us her dreams. And with her first bit of paint, she writes at her desk while she's passing through.
It's a way for us to kind of inspire the girls who come after us, like a legacy. I'm going to be a teacher, write fantastical adventure books, and change the world with my words.
I like cooking, so I'm gonna open up my own restaurant one day. You may call me Chef Marie. Mwah. I love sewing and making clothes, so I plan to become a fashion designer.
There are no small plans, only small wallets. I'm gonna learn how to drive, buy a fast car, point it toward the West Coast, and never stop until I stick my toes in the Pacific. Then I'm gonna dance in the waves.
I've always wanted to be a war correspondent.
Mary Ellen Cruz, how exotic.
How else am I going to see the Eiffel Tower? Or the real Big Ben?
Oh, my plans are very simple. I want to settle down and start a family. My house is just too quiet. I can't wait for all the noise and dirt and joy that comes from raising children. Children are a blessing.
I like helping others. I volunteered in a hospital during the war. Maybe one day I'll do that again. But more than anything, I want to be a mother, too. I'm gonna have 4 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, I don't think you get to pick which.
Won't we get in trouble for painting on the furniture, I mean?
As long as we get our work done, Ree doesn't care what we do with the leftover paint. Besides, it's not like it's gonna take up a lot of space. We're the ladies of the radio dial, and you're now one of us too. You're the talk of the town, the light in the night, and this is all you have to do. Dip, point, paint.
You put it in your mouth?
The spit makes it stick.
Oh, so it won't hurt you.
Are you kidding? Look at these rosy cheeks. Only Radium could do that, and we get it for free. Now you'll start by mixing your paint. A dab of pure radium, a pinch of zinc, and a splash of water
To make it glow.
It takes a keen eye and a steady hand, but if you paint your dials right,
You'll make more than your man.
dip, point, paint.
Dip, point, paint.
That's it.
Ow! What is it, Peg? It's my tooth!
May 31st, 1924. This just in from Chicago, Illinois. Nathan Leopold and Richard Loeb have just confessed to the murders of Bobby Franks. First believed to have been a kidnapping, the 2 young men, still teenagers themselves, now admit to murdering the 14-year-old youngster, just to prove to the world that they could commit the perfect crime.
Stupid R keeps sticking.
Handsome of form and face, many Chicagoans wonder if these confessed killers will gain the same mercy from the jury that Beulah Hannon, dubbed Chicago's prettiest murderer, was granted. Keen-eared listeners will recall that Hannon was found not guilty by a jury, a pattern her fellow confessed murderess Belva Gardner hopes will repeat during her trial next month.
Wonder what kind of lawyer their money will buy.
Hailed as the crime of the century, Leopold and Loeb are rumored to have retained the services of the great Clarence Darrow.
Of course they got the best.
Furthering the rumors that Chicago is a place where crime does pay, as long as you can pay for a great defense.
Epiphany, a usually sudden manifestation of the perception or essential nature or meaning of something. It suddenly dawned on Peg that baby was the perfect child.
I'm not a baby.
You're my baby, aren't you?
No.
Yes, you are. You're my spoiled baby.
Girls, your sister's trying to read.
I don't mind the noise.
You don't mind the noise?
We're not noise, we're music.
Oh, well, she mightn't, but I do. Why don't you do something useful with all that energy and help me with this?
Sorry, Mama. We gotta go.
Oh, my.
Well, that's one way to quiet down the house.
Works every time. So, what are your favorites from today?
Epiphany, Devu, Panacea.
Ooh, Devu and Panacea, those are new.
Panacea, noun, means a cure or remedy for all difficulties or diseases.
Oh, I like that.
Me too.
So, how are you feeling?
Fine.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Has it healed yet?
No, but I'm sure it will.
And the headaches?
Not for a long while, Mama. I'm gonna get Papa a new shirt for work. This one has a hole in it.
Oh, hand it here. I can patch it later.
I'd still like to do it for him. I'm gonna save up and get you a new couch, too.
Come here. What? Come here.
I won't fit in your lap much longer.
You'll always fit in my lap. You work too hard.
I like working.
What are you and Chuck gonna do later?
He's gonna take me to the park to watch the sunset. I'm gonna look at the stars for a bit. Mama? Do you ever wish you hadn't gotten married so young? Oh!
Sometimes. No. I wanted you and your brothers and sisters.
I think Chuck wants to marry me.
I know.
Mama, I love him, but I just...
But he's almost done with school, isn't he?
But...
Well,
but conditions aren't ideal for me yet. There are still things I need to do, and...
And if you wait until conditions are perfect, you'll be stuck in this purgatory indefinitely.
It's just I've always had this formula for finding the answers I need, but now I don't know. This is so tough.
Life will always be tough. For one reason or another. Full of unfairness and hard decisions. But who you spend your days with, that shouldn't be one of them. I've seen the way he looks at you. He'll wait around until you're both gray-headed for you to make up your mind. Don't do that to him. If you love him as much as you say you do, well, either start making some plans or set him free. Let him start living his own life, pursuing his own dreams, not pining for you while you drag your feet. He loves you. And love is the panacea of life.
Hey, Chuck's here.
Margaret.
Yes, Mama?
I know there's things you're not saying.
Mama,
No, and that's your business to keep. But do him a kindness. Make a choice.
I love you, Mama.
Devu. Noun, from the French. The awareness that this will soon become a memory. How's Nancy?
Well, she's not fat. She's pregnant.
Oh, no.
She's due in a month.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not ready to be a father.
You'll be just fine.
You want one?
No. Scotty likes being an only cat. I don't think he would appreciate a doggy sibling.
Maybe Mac needs a puppy.
August 6, 1926. This just in from the Atlantic Ocean. Gertrude Etherley, age 20 years, has just made history as the first woman to swim the English Channel. The nearly 15-hour, 21-mile trek has earned Etherley the moniker Queen of the Waves. Only 5 men have managed to make this same aquatic journey, and Gertrude is beating their best time by nearly 2 hours. Keen-eared listeners will recall Gertrude was the first woman to swim the length of the New York Bay. At the herself 3 medals at the 1924 Paris Olympics. Gertrude's fantastic accomplishments are causing enthusiastic fans everywhere to ask, is there anything women can't do?
Hey, it's okay.
If you would listen to me.
Just
Chuck,
wait.
please.
It's fine.
Oh,
Hey.
please don't sing to me.
Peg, oh my heart, I love you, don't let us part. I love you, I always knew that it would be you. Since I heard your lilting laughter, it's your Irish heart I'm after.
Chuck, I've thought a lot about this. But
Peg, oh my heart, your glances make my heart say, have chances, come be my own, come make your home in my heart.
Oh, Chuck, I love you. But I can't marry you. Not right now, maybe not for a long time. You know my family has always been poor, but with what I make at the studio, they finally have a real chance of getting ahead. For a long time, I thought I would go to college and teach and write, but it's clear to me now, I can't do that. They need my wages. They would never ask me to stay, but I make triple what Papa does. And if you and I got married, I would want to do everything a wife should do. I would quit so we could settle down and start a family, and then what would they do? I'm so sorry, but I can't leave them. And I can't ask you to wait.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I hear what you're saying, now hear what I'm saying. I'm in no rush. If you want to work to support your family until they're financially stable, then that's what you'll do. It's simple as that. And then we'll both work to help support them. And then you'll go to school, and you'll teach, and you'll write. And I'll be right there beside you. I never asked you to give up your dreams for me, Peg. I don't want to marry you because of what you could do for me. I want to marry you because I love you. Peg, oh my heart, I love you. We'll never part. I love you. Oh. Sweet little girl, sweet little girl. Sweeter than a rose of Erin are your winning smiles endearing. Peg, oh my heart, your glances make my heart say, have chances, come be my own, come make your home in my heart.
Then, yes, I think the next step is to marry you someday.
September 2nd, 1927. This just in from Chicago, Illinois. The local premiere of the smash hit Chicago opened last night at the Harris Theater. Melba Gartner was rumored to be in the audience and delighted with the onstage antics of her alter ego, Velma Kelly. Keen-eared listeners will recall that confessed murderer Velma was acquitted of her crimes the summer of 1924, mere weeks after Beulah Hannon.
You still fiddling with that thing?
Now, the M is sticking. Do you know how many words have the letter M in them?
Put in a work order for a new one.
You know how this paper is about getting new office equipment. Maybe I can fix it. Say, did you see that show last night?
I prefer the opera.
Ooh la la.
And in my opinion, female writers are uniquely gifted in their ability to tell stories, and we need more of them. Will there ever be another play and movie centered in Chicago? Only time will tell. For now, it looks like crime does indeed sell.
Uncle bothering you again, Catherine?
A little, but I'm okay.
Have you been to the company doctor?
I went a while ago, but not since then.
What did they say?
They said I was fine.
Peg, you went a while ago too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say?
Nothing. Well, that's not true. He said I was just fine too.
Except for that hole in your jaw.
I had bad gums.
Poor Gable had bad gums. I heard he had to get dentures.
Who?
That fellow who plays Jake in Chicago.
Oh.
I'm not getting dentures.
Here's the thing. I have this sore place on my face right here. It just won't go away. I've been thinking about going in.
That, you hardly notice it.
Maybe not, but it hurts, you know?
Like, inside your mouth?
No, like, in my bone. Like, if you took a drill and went your marrow.
Like your very core.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt, Peg? Oh, no, it was just a guess.
When the pain in my hip started, I went in and they gave me some aspirin and said it was nothing to worry about.
It's not only that. Been so tired lately. John thinks I should get it checked out. He says it could be anemia or some other kind of blood poisoning.
Whoa, let's take a breath here.
Yeah, that sounds extreme, Ella. I wouldn't listen to your brother. All I mean is that I think it's more about mind over matter. Make up your mind that it doesn't matter, and then it doesn't. My mind can't shake the feeling that something is the matter.
Please don't be worried, Ella. I'll say a prayer for you tonight. It's going to be okay.
If you're that worried about it, Ella, go in. What's the worst that can happen?
I agree. Let's take this one step at a time. Tell Mr. Reed and he'll schedule an appointment for you.
Mr. Reed looks out for us.
I'm not so sure about that. Lately, I feel like Reed only looks out for Reed, you know? Not for us.
Ugh, this is an atrocious topic. Can we please shift our focus to something a bit more fortuitous? Why don't you tell them your big news, Catherine?
Big news?
Well, I was going to wait until the ladies got back to tell everyone, but Tom proposed.
It's so
See,
pretty.
and you can be.
You just want to be the pretty one.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd we miss?
Tom
Look at the radio.
Oh my gosh. What's going on?
Tom proposed!
Finally! Oh, that's wonderful news, Catherine.
Show girl.
Oh, it seems as if all of our dreams are coming true. Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you.
So when's the ceremony?
Oh, not for a long while.
What's wrong with you? You've waited years to marry this man and now you want to wait longer?
Well, I'd like to feel a little better first.
Everything happens when it's supposed to. You still have plenty of time.
That's right. Maybe little Pearl Charlotte can be the flower girl!
You're awfully certain it's going to be a girl.
What if you and Peg had a double wedding?
Yeah, you two have been engaged a year already. When are you and Chuck tying that knot?
Not for a long while. We still have plenty
of time. I cannot handle you patient people.
Helen.
Girls, gather up. Radium Doll wants a group photograph.
Oh.
Thanks, Peg. Come on, girls. Come on. Oh, let me get in the front. Come on, Pearl.
It takes me a moment.
Reed, get in the photo.
Come on, Reed.
Come on, don't be
Here.
shy.
Okay, everybody say radium.
Radium!
Button up your overcoat when the wind is free. Take good care of yourself, you belong to me. Eat an apple every day, go to bed by 3. Take good care of yourself, you belong to me. Be careful crossing streets, ooh, don't eat meats, ooh, cut out sweets, ooh, you'll get a pain-a-roo in your tum-tum. Keep away from bootleg hooch when you're on a spree.
You rang?
Yeah, hey, I was just finishing up this obit and something's not adding up.
I thought you weren't doing obits anymore.
Well, I wanted to do this one.
Why?
The death certificate says streptococcic poison, but rumor around town is that it was syphilis.
Mary!
It's a disease, Grant, not a dirty word.
Okay. So that's rumors around town.
Yeah, well, something felt off, so I found her brother and asked for his opinion.
What'd he say?
He says she had this little place on her face and then she just went septic. Her skin, her body, everything. Black. He says it was excruciating.
Good Lord.
That's not streptococcic and that's not syphilis. And then we have those women from New Jersey.
Who? Simple things of life bring most cheer to women who know they soon will die. Oh yeah, I remember reading this.
Right? Those women claim that their job poisoned them, and now this girl, I think she was poisoned too.
Mary, Ottawa doesn't have anything in common with New Jersey. Just because you want there to be a conspiracy doesn't mean there is one. You're chasing a byline.
No, I'm chasing the truth, and I'm not going to stop until I find it.
Three more deaths raised radium total to 17.
This can't be real.
The first signs of the dreaded poisoning are swelling in the feet and decay of the gum and teeth.
Is this why they're testing us again?
They x-rayed me and took my blood.
Me too.
Yes.
What were your results?
I don't know, they wouldn't tell me.
Me either. No.
Nothing.
Reed? What is this?
Well...
This says it's also connected to some women in New Jersey.
Reed, tell us something!
Girls! Just because you read about something in the paper does not mean that it's true. Those newspaper men are in the business of selling newspapers, not truth-telling.
Then what killed Ella?
Miss Cruz's sudden and unexpected passing has nothing to do with her working for the company. It was streptococcic poisoning.
Food poisoning?
Well, that's what I was told. It must have been something that she ate. Here. Read that.
Physicians familiar with radium poison have done multiple medical examinations on the workers and have found nothing.
Oh, keep reading.
If we in any way believed that the work environment for our employees would have been dangerous, we would have suspended operations immediately.
So you're saying we shouldn't believe the headline on the front page, where we should believe an ad from the company in the same paper, where we shouldn't believe something just because it's said in the newspaper?
The newspaper prints lies, of course, but the company never would. We care about you girls. You're the reason for our success. We couldn't make it without you. Why would we want anything ever to happen to you?
That does seem to make sense.
You've heard the radio advertisements. Radium makes you pretty, like a walking work of art.
I don't need radium for that.
Listen, radium is safe. I promise.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Grant, Ella's parents did it. They're suing. They think all those years of painting dials is what killed their daughter. And that New Jersey poisoning case with Grace Fryer and Catherine Shaw, they settled out of court last month. As far as I'm concerned, this proves a connection. I told you there was more to this.
It doesn't prove anything. We don't know that the two cases are related. We don't know anything.
So we find out.
Maybe you should send a letter or make a phone call.
These women have been given a year to live. I don't have time to wait on a letter, and they deserve more than a phone call. Would you stop that?
I think your ambitions are making you chase a story that isn't a story.
Just because I'm ambitious doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, of course not. Not looking to fight with you, Mary. It just feels too much like the start of 18. You weren't there. I'm worried, that's all.
Look, I appreciate that. I do. But this is not the same thing. It isn't transmissible. There's something rotten in the state of Illinois, and I think it starts with Jersey. I tried the easy way, and nobody is talking. So I'll try the hard way and see if I can get some answers.
How?
How do you think I'm gonna find Catherine Shaw and Grace Fryer and ask them?
Okay. You've made up your mind. So what can I do?
Feed the cat.
Sweetheart, don't bother your sister right now.
It's okay, Mama. Baby's keeping me warm.
I'm not a baby.
You're my baby, aren't you?
No.
Mrs. Looney, I am so sorry. I didn't realize Peg was resting. I can come back later.
I'm not sleeping. The house is too quiet.
It is unusually quiet in here. Where is everyone?
Chuck treated Mr. Looney and the older children to a movie at the Roxy. I wanted some time with my Peg.
He's wonderful.
Yes, he is.
I should go then.
No. I hated leaving work early today. I'm glad you brought me my tray like I asked.
Do have a seat, Catherine. It's all right. Oh, no, absolutely not. You need to rest.
Mama.
We were able to get her that appointment with the Chicago doctor.
And it's going to cost us very nearly every penny that we have. I don't like being a burden. Let me work. I can make us the money that we need.
And I want you fully rested for your appointment.
We all just want you to get better.
Hey, you're here, and I already feel better.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. You and Mama, Papa, sweet Chuck. I feel better when I'm surrounded by people. I think if I was ever alone, I'd be petrified.
You will never be alone, dearest. I promise.
I know, Mama.
All right?
All right.
Good girl.
Mama? Do you remember what Father O'Reilly said in Mass? He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He counts the number of stars and calls them all by name. Well, that's it. It's just like that song he used to sing to us when we were little. If he knows the name of every star, he knows my name. He knows little old sickly Peg Looney. He knows what's happening and he knows why. And if he knows, there's always hope. Right, Catherine?
Of course. Take a breath, take a step, And if all else fails,
look up.
I think her faith has only gotten stronger. I wish mine would. Catherine, if this doctor doesn't have the answers, then
I know. I'm praying for a cure every day.
That little one may be my youngest. But Peg is my baby too. And my baby can barely walk. That wretched company consumes all of her energy, but she won't quit. I feel as though all of this worry is a knot, and it's growing inside of me, and it's gonna grow and grow and grow until it just swallows me all. Why won't she quit?
For the same reason you worry about her. She loves you. This is the only way she knows how to show you. We can't quit. We can't give it up, especially now. We need the money.
But what price are you paying?
I should go.
Please take those things with you when you go. The more dials that she paints, the more time that I lose with her, and I am still not convinced that they aren't the cause.
Please tell Peg I said goodbye.
Can you count the stars of evening that are shining in the sky? Can you count the clouds that daily over all the world go by? God the Lord, who doth not slumber, keepeth all the boundless number, but he careth more for thee. But he careth more for thee.
My heart, I love you. Don't let us part. I love you. I always knew it would be you. Since I heard your lilting laughter, it's your Irish heart I'm after.
Mary. Yeah. Any updates? Hey, look, Margaret Looney's sick. Really sick. And the rumors here around town are flying.
And now that things are tough for everybody, girls like her are trying to sabotage one of the only places still hiring. It's just selfish if you ask me.
And they really ought to be ashamed spreading these hateful rumors. I've been using undark cold cream for years, and there's nothing wrong with me.
I bet she has that same disease that cruise girl died from. I bet that's why she's so sick.
Well, they were two of those awful flappers dancing that horrid dance, if you know what I mean.
And she does live on the other side of the tracks, if you know what I mean.
And these things don't happen to every girl, just a certain kind of girl.
Listen, I'll do whatever you need me to. You gotta figure out what's going on before it's too late.
This just in from Englewood, New Jersey. Man of the Year, Colonel Charles A. Lindbergh, has just wed his 23-year-old fiancée, Anne Morrow. Keen-eared listeners will recall that our lucky Lindy, in his Spirit of St. Louis, shot to international stardom when he became the first man to cross the Atlantic Ocean on May 21st, 1927. Love truly is in the air, and having taught his brand new missus to fly during their courtship, not even the sky is the limit for these two lovebirds. If only every couple could be so lucky.
I'm gonna teach, I'm gonna reach the stars. I'm gonna live, gonna give away my heart. I've got so many plans, this world won't know what to do. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna lead, I'm gonna lead the charge. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna dance and give away my heart. I'm gonna take this day to live, love, and laugh. 'Cause right now is the only time we really have.
Ready?
I'm just passing through. This world can't contain all I plan to do. One day they'll see.
Don't have to do all this, you know.
I know. I want to. Are you warm enough?
Feels nice. I have a present for you.
Should I open it now?
Go ahead.
This old thing?
I have a feeling that you're gonna need it someday.
No, I won't. I'll just ask you how to spell things and what fancy word I should use.
Chuck.
Did I tell you I've been looking at houses? Don't worry, they're still close to your mama. There's a 2-bedroom brick within walking distance.
Chuck, I can barely walk.
I'll just carry you.
You can't carry me for the rest of my life.
Yes, I can, and I will.
You're right, you probably will. Chuck, I'm not getting any better.
But the Chicago doctor...
Tried everything. Nothing worked. I take one breath here and it feels otherworldly.
Peg, you can't give up now. We're gonna get married in a year. You're gonna go to school and teach. Make a difference in other people's lives.
Maybe this is the way it was always supposed to be. I thought I would be the one to tell my story, but maybe it'll be you. Or Catherine. I don't know. But in my heart, I know that God is going to use someone. And it'll make a difference. I'm nearly done, but my story isn't. I can feel it. I wish the stars were out.
Peg, I don't have a future without you.
Of course you do. It's just, now you have to live your life for the both of us. So it's not the same timeline that we dreamt it would be. And it won't be here or now, but we will have eternity. And eternity is such a beautifully long time. I love you. And I'm gonna miss you every single second until we're together again. But I am always with you. Right here. And when it all gets to be too much,
I'll know through you I was more than passing through.
Yeah, I got it. I'll send Mary a telegram with her address. Yeah. Thanks, Mac. I owe you one. Yeah, I know. I'll owe you for the rest of my life. But you love that dog. Even if he did chew up your house.
Radithor is all the rage. Just a few drops of radium in your water creates a charge of energy that will have you positively glowing. Top scientists claim it's both safe and effective, but don't take their word for it. Listen to the U.S. amateur golf champion and Yale graduate, Eben Baez.
I fell out of my train berth coming home from a Yale-Harvard game and busted up both arms. But good, you can't swing a club with a smashed arm, so my doc said Radithor was just the thing to cure what ailed me. And boy, was he ever right. I started drinking 3 bottles a day, and I feel like a new man. I wish everyone could experience the positive effects of Radithor like I have.
These symptoms, pale skin, fatigue, weight loss, limping, I've seen all of these with the girls in my town.
Yeah, that matches pretty well with our first symptoms. Know anything about her blood?
Her blood? No, I haven't heard anything about that.
They tested my blood and told me the results were abnormal, that I must be anemic, but they told me not to worry about it, so I didn't. I was such a dummy. You said the death certificate said
streptococcic poison.
But the town
thinks syphilis. Yes.
Yep, that happened to one of our girls too. There was no truth to it. They proved it. She was a good girl. And I imagine it's the same for your girl too. You know, painting dials was like working on the inside of a star. There were lights everywhere. I thought to myself, this must be what heaven looks like. I didn't know I was really in hell. That's what the devil does. He takes everything you've ever wanted and puts it on a platter and serves it to you all warm and inviting. All he asks you to do to get it is one tiny little thing, so insignificant you wouldn't even notice. All I had to do was take this tiny brush and put it in my mouth over and over and paint. That's it.
But what about this? Why would they brazenly lie like that?
Ha! Liars lie. We should be surprised when they tell the truth. Look, me and the other girls, your girls, we gave that company everything and they made piles of money off of us. I never met a man making piles of money who wanted to stop. It wasn't enough that they destroyed our bodies. When we spoke up, they destroyed our names too.
I've got to warn them.
Sure you should. Oh, but we all gotta slay our own dragons. You tell them too soon before they're ready to hear it, and they'll call you crazy. You tell them too late, and they'll blame you for not warning them. Fear is funny that way. Makes everything tricky.
I'm so sorry this happens to you.
Don't be sorry for me, Miss Ross. I'm not done yet.
Well, what are your plans for
the rest of my life? Well, according to the doctor's timetable, I got about 11 months to go. So I used most of my money to pay my bills. Then I paid my father's mortgage. It's my gift to him, and he deserves it.
But for me, I'm going back to school. Well, at least take an English lit class. And then I'm gonna learn to drive, and I'm gonna drive myself out to the Catskills and live in an old farmhouse and read and write poetry and breathe in the fresh air. It's not Paris like the Fitzgeralds, but maybe I'll even write my own memoirs. That's my gift to me.
That's beautiful.
What else am I supposed to do? Wait to die? There's healthy people doing that. No, not me. I'm gonna live every day as it comes and not worry about tomorrow. And then I'm gonna find people who need help, and I'm gonna give them whatever money I have left to help them. That'll make me happy, doing good like that.
Catherine, it's time for your medication.
Excuse me, please.
Miss Schaub.
Catherine.
Catherine, may I write to you or visit you again sometime? Not for any research, just for me. I really admire you.
When are you talking to Grace?
Later today.
Good. She's smart. She'll be able to tell you all the technical things that are hard for me to remember. And yeah, you can write to me. I may not be able to reply right away, but I've never had a pen pal before. I've always wanted one of those.
Mr. Schaub, do you think I could collect a statement from you? There's a family back home that recently lost their daughter, and I think they'd like to hear what you have to say.
I don't know what I could tell them in a way of comfort. It's a terrible thing to watch your child die slowly. It goes against everything I believe in, to hurt another human being, but I just wish I had a minute along with those company men that told it was safe. I love her more than she'll ever understand. More than any child can understand until they become a parent themselves, and she never will. You know, sometimes I don't know what hurts more. Her poor broken body, or my heart.
We need to fix this situation.
Suffrage societies. Well-known suffrage supporter, Alderman Leonard J. Grossman, commented on the loss. Her writing, her voice, and her leadership were a bright light that has now been extinguished after a life well lived in peaceful service. In world news, cleanup continues in Sicily due to the August 4th eruption of Mount Etna. It appears the pressure finally became too much for the northeast crater of the volcano, and it finally broke free. This is a continuing story. Stay tuned.
Are you sure it's this way?
Yes, roommate 28 right there.
All right, come on, baby.
Okay, come on.
Oh, hey. No visitors by order of Radium Dial.
I'm her mother.
And I'm going to marry her.
She got sick at work today and they sent her here.
Listen, I'm sorry, but we've been informed this is a very contagious patient.
Contagious with what? No one will tell us what's wrong with her. Listen to me. I promised my baby she would never be alone. Please move out of my way.
Hey, y'all can't be here. Get out. You need to leave us.
No, I will not leave her. Mama, do you see she knows I'm here and she needs me? Please dismount of my way, sir.
Sorry, there's nothing I can do for you.
Get this baby out of here.
Take it back off! No!
Listen to me, the door is locked! Mama!
I'm not alone.
Oh, no. No, baby. No, not yet. Not yet.
Mama, it's okay. He's here, do you see?
No, baby, don't go. Please, not yet. Oh, Jesus, help me.
Please, Jesus, help her.
There's so much pain.
Please take her pain. Oh, Mama, look up. Oh, look at the stars. The stars are so beautiful.
And the stars of evening that are shining in the sky. Can you count the clouds that daily over all the world go by? God the Lord, who doth not slumber, keepeth all the boundless number. But he careth more for thee, but he careth more for thee. Can you count the many children in their little beds at night, who without a thought of sorrow rise again at morning light? God the Lord, who dwells in heaven, loving care to each has given. He has not forgotten thee. He has not forgotten thee.
On your cheek, it puts anemia in your blood, it puts the rotten in your teeth, it's the creeping awful crud, it puts the limp in your step, it puts the gap in your smile, it puts the holes in your bones, it destroys your lifestyle. Radium, oh radium, it's the cause of all your pain. Beware of its seductive glow.
its initial release, the Roxy reports they have sold 50,000 tickets. Life is in the blood. And if New York is an indication, America has a brand new obsession with blood-sucking vampires. In other news, golf champion Eben Myers testifying to the Federal Trade Commission against Raymer-Brown, declaring that he was positive his disintegrating jaw and failing health was a direct result of having consumed nearly 1,400 bottles of the radium water elixir. Bailey Radium Laboratories vehemently denies the charges and maintains the radium water is safe and effective for curing all manner of disease. This is a developing story.
And then he told me this pump is going to revolutionize open heart surgery.
Grace, I can't believe Charles Lindbergh is working at your hospital, and you get to see him and talk to him.
Well, that is what happens when you spend the bulk of your life in hospitals. You get to meet some very interesting people.
Send him my way. I could stand to see a handsome man around here every now and again.
Stop. I'm just glad you're both feeling better.
Feeling better? We've survived radium poisoning for 10 years. We're medical marvels.
I'm betting the USRC wasn't counting on us having both the spirit and the constitution of a couple of Spartans.
What a glorious revenge. May we live forever and drain their funds to the dregs.
Hear, hear. Oh, what's on your mind, Mary?
Eben Byers. Why is it when a prominent businessman has radium poisoning, it's taken more seriously?
You answered your own question, Mary. He's a prominent businessman.
Well, doesn't that drive you nuts? Those women I told you about, Peg and Ella, their families' lawsuits didn't go anywhere. They didn't have enough money to continue fighting, and even if they did, nobody took them seriously.
Maybe Eben will change things.
Maybe. So many dial painters have died back home, and people are just acting as if everything is normal. If the women would just go public like he did, like you all did, I could help them. But they won't talk to me. I call every few weeks, and it's always the same. No, thank you.
Denial is very comfortable, Mary. Going public is the opposite. It's tough. It's vulnerable. Like standing on a stage naked in front of an audience with a spotlight pointed right at you.
A very fickle audience with a handful of tomatoes and eggs, one wrong word, one wrong move, and splat!
Exactly. And you're so eager to write this thing, but as soon as you publish, your name gets attached to theirs, and that's all fine if everything goes well. But it can turn on a dime. We've lived long enough now that people think we were lying just to scam the company.
What a thing. Me with this monstrous tumor on my knee, and her not able to get out of that torture rack for more than 2 minutes, and they think this is a grift we would choose? What dummies. God love them.
Do you ever wonder why God allowed this to happen?
No. God didn't poison us. The United States Radium Corporation did.
But he didn't stop it either.
Oh, Mary. Most things happen because of cause and effect. We swallowed the lie that radium wasn't poison, and it was. Sure, we didn't know any better, but look at us now. He knew that we were strong enough to stand on the world stage as ambassadors. Maybe we've endured the spotlight and the tomatoes so we could help others. I don't know.
Grace, look at her face. You're confusing the girl. You gotta stop running around with metaphors about ambassadors, stages, and vegetables. We're on borrowed time here. We gotta take a shortcut to the point.
Okay. Here's the point. God is good, and he always wins. Somebody out there will finish what we started. Maybe it will be Eben Byers, maybe it will be you and the women in your town. It doesn't matter to us who it is, as long as the truth comes out. We're all on the same team. But whatever happens, the one thing we are promised is a happy ending. And if it's not happy, then it's not the ending. Right? Right. Soon, we will be in our real forever home. But until then, we can be glad that this experience brought us together. And to you. And then when we're done, we're done.
Listen, you gotta give them time. Let them live their lives, and one day something will happen, and when you call, they'll pick up. I promise.
April 1st, 1932. This just in from Manhattan, New York. Eben Byers, a former spokesman for Raymer-Brown, died yesterday at age 51. Keen-eared listeners will recall that Byers testified that Raymer-Brown was the direct cause of the disintegration of his jaw. Despite a new jaw being surgically created, Byers suffered a medical emergency and was unable to recover. Raymer-Brown has since been discontinued. The medical examiner officially listed Byers' cause of death as radium poisoning. As a result, the FDA is looking into making radium products and treatments illegal, sending shockwaves through the industry. How this will impact dial painting facilities remains to be seen. This is a developing story.
I thought I'd find you here, Professor Hackensmith. Goodness, you've got to be freezing out here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those are nice.
Thanks. I was gonna leave them, but it's too cold, and I can't stand to think of them dying out here.
I'll take them. I'll put them in some water at home. I got you something too.
Should we light it?
No, it's symbolic.
Happy birthday, sweetheart. You want to split it?
I'm starving.
Thanks. Well, I loved her laugh.
I loved her spirit.
I loved her.
Me too.
You don't have to hide it, you know.
Hide what?
Ethel told me. She writes me all the time. Hey, it's okay. Really. You're allowed to be happy, and I'm happy for you. Ethel is thrilled.
I'm due
In April. I told you. If Ethel knows, I know.
Mrs. Looney's been like a second mother through all of this. More of a first mother, really. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm
An orphan?
She really does keep you informed, doesn't she?
And I heard you were fired. You already know how I feel about that place. I think they're all monsters.
9 years of devotion, and one little limp gets you the boot. It isn't the same anymore anyway. The ladies were the only reason I stayed, and most of them are married and gone now, or just gone.
Have you been tested?
Yes. We finally found a doctor that would treat all of us.
You know the results yet?
Yes.
And?
I've got it. We all do.
Catherine, why didn't you say anything?
Today's special. It's her day, not mine.
Is there anything I can do?
Be my friend.
Always.
Thank you.
What is it?
There's this woman reporter who keeps calling me and telling me that I should expose Radium Dial by letting her write a story.
What'd you tell her?
Oh, I've not spoken with her. Tom always answers. You know I'm not about attention. Besides, I don't really think it's necessary. I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah?
Yes. The ladies and I, we've found a lawyer, and he says that we should give Radium Dial notice of our condition, and if they refuse to pay for our medical care, we sue. He seems very confident in our chances.
Really?
Yes. Eben Byers changed everything. Radium's now considered a poison. It wasn't before.
Okay. This is good. Really. I'm all for destroying those blood-sucking people. Let me know if I can do anything. Illinois is not that far from Kentucky, and I can always find a sub for my classes.
I will. I promise.
Oh, and I wanted to give you this.
Is this...
I was finally able to open it and start reading. There are a few with little lines and hearts around the word, but this one had your name next to it.
I love it. Thank you.
We should go. It's getting cold. Oh, and Catherine?
Yes?
Give them hell. Give them all hell. For me and for Peg.
Hi, Mr. Donohue. This is Mary Ross. Again, yes. Hello. Good to talk to you, sir. I heard that Catherine is still waiting to hear back from Radium Dial, and I thought if I could speak with her, maybe I could help. Okay. Thanks. Just let her know I called. Goodbye. Maybe next time. You look like you've seen a ghost.
Mary, you ought to sit down.
I am sitting down.
Mary?
Grant, what is it?
Catherine has passed.
Catherine Donohue? I just called her.
No. Catherine Schaub.
But I just wrote to her last week. She was doing fine. She was feeling better.
It was her leg. It went septic.
I have to call Grace.
Mary, I'm not done. Her father,
William?
they think the grief may have been too much. He didn't make it.
I am so tired of all the death.
I know. I'm so sorry, Mary.
They're due any minute. You do remember to say.
Listen, Doc. I've done this tap dance for years now, and I've always done what they told me to do, but look, these women are sick. They're really sick.
Well, ever since Eben Byers, everyone thinks radium is poison.
Isn't it? We've had them tested for years, and the results have always come back the same.
Well, you're fine, aren't you?
Yes, but I didn't put the paint in my mouth.
Rufus.
Yes, sir.
Is your wife excited about your new promotion?
She is, sir.
And you want to keep that promotion, don't you?
I do, but...
Then you make this go away.
How do I do that?
Deny.
But...
Deny! It's not that hard to do. We just ignore them. They're immigrant girls. Dozens more are born every day. Trust me, no one will ever notice when they're gone.
Good afternoon, girls.
Mr. Reed.
Supervisor Reed, if you please. I was promoted.
Okay. Supervisor Reed, the company has been giving us the go-around, and we were wondering if you could help us.
What would you like me to do?
We need to know their response to our petition. If you could, please set them straight. Tell them we're sick, and that we have radium poisoning, and that we got it from working here, like Peg and all the other girls. We need money for our doctor bills and to pay for our treatments, so maybe we can find a cure.
Well, that's the problem, girls. Miss Looney died of diphtheria, not radium poisoning. And the other girls, we had a myriad of issues when we hired them, and as for the two of you, well, forgive me, but I just don't see anything wrong with you.
My arm is gone, Mr. Reed. And I was lucky. This amputation saved my life. Peg died, Ella died. If they would have never worked here, they would still be alive. Do you understand that? Does that mean anything to you?
I thought you were on our side. You've always looked out for us.
And I'm looking out for you now. I'm sorry that you're ill, I really am, and I hope that you find answers. But you won't find them here. My advice is to let this go.
Look at us!
Okay. Then we're going to move forward with our lawsuit. And I must warn you, Supervisor Reed, we have a very good chance of winning.
Our country is in the middle of a depression. So I must warn you, Miss Wolf, that there are many sheep in our community that don't take kindly to predators who steal their source of income. But you go right ahead and ask for that money out of their pockets. Let's see where that lands you.
Mary, did you see this? Luminous Processes opened last week practically across the street from the old radium dial plant. They figure they can just change the title and people will keep drinking the poison? Well, I can't believe the gall of these sons of... Hey, you finally got a new one.
Catherine's estate was settled.
Dear Mary, I told you I was going to use the rest of my money to help people, and you need help. You can't write their story on a busted typewriter. You'll be glad to know I finished my memoir. I'd hoped to see you again, but if you're reading this, then my story finally got its happy ending. Love, Catherine.
That's it. He's quitting.
He is. He wishes you luck.
Luck? He wishes us luck?
The hearing determined that injuries caused by poison aren't covered under the Occupational Diseases Act. It might change later, but for now, he said there's nothing else he can do.
I can't feel my legs. I need to sit.
Here, I need to stand. I need to think.
Okay, when's the IIC case?
Maybe another 2 years away. Since he was pro bono, he doesn't have the money to make it that long.
What if we find a different lawyer?
Who? No one in this town will speak to us. You really think they're gonna represent us?
I feel dizzy.
Put your head between your legs. I'll go get you a cold cloth.
What if we write a big-time lawyer, a celebrity lawyer?
Who?
Billy Flynn. What about him?
Billy Flynn?
Roxy Hart's lawyer. Chicago. The play. But they are not real people, Helen.
No, she's right, they are. Sort of. The real girl Beulah, she had 2 lawyers. What were their names?
William Scott Stewart.
And W.W. O'Brien, yes.
But they were corrupt. She was guilty.
Who was guilty?
Roxy Hart.
Beulah Annan.
Who?
Look, don't listen to them. We just need a
righteous lawyer, someone who will defend the underdog.
We're not underdogs!
Where have you been for the last year? Do you want to know what these say? And these are the nice ones.
Oh, I have some too. I love being the town prize. It's swell.
Here, put him in the filing cabinet with mine.
We just need a lawyer. Surely we can find one in the next 2 years.
What about Mr. Darrow?
Clarence Darrow?
Yeah.
Leopold and Loeb, the monkey trial, that Darrow?
Yeah. How are we going to get him?
We could write to him.
We could try.
But Leopold and Loeb were also guilty.
But we're not!
Then this should be a piece of cake.
I'll go.
Ladies, are we sure about this?
Sure about what?
Going on.
Why wouldn't we go on? What are you talking about? Where is all this coming from?
Tom's just lost his job. We can't afford the bills that we do have. We had to take out a second mortgage on the house. How are we going to pay for Mr. Darrow? The town already hates us enough. Maybe we tried and we stopped.
But if we stop, that's it. We've lost forever.
I'm just afraid.
I know you're afraid! We're all afraid. And we're also sick. And I am sick of being sick. I'm sick of the blind panic when another tooth falls out. I'm sick of the constant oozing and the pain and the fatigue and the headaches. And the heartache of walking into the grocery store and seeing your former friends turn their heads. They treat us like we're monsters. And I can't help but think I'm starting to look like one too. But we cannot give up. We have to keep going, because if we don't, then what will all of this be for?
You're right, Marie. I am so sorry. We'll write to Mr. Darrow and we'll find the money somehow. It'll be okay.
Well, we sure aren't entering a dance marathon.
Helen.
What? It was getting too serious.
We need publicity. He's not gonna take our case if he's never heard of us. We gotta get in the paper, but how?
Same as Roxy Hart. I could kill my husband.
What?
Her husband left her because she got sick.
See? He needs killing.
Well, I appreciate the offer. That might be a bit overkill.
Back burner idea, Helen.
Definite back burner.
The offer's on the table if you need it.
Well, we have to do something because we don't have a single friend in this town.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mary. Thank you for calling, but this is really not a good time. I'll let Catherine know that...
Wait. Give me the phone. I want to speak to her.
Hey. Mary?
They want me to write their story.
Who? Catherine? Hey, that's terrific news.
Oh.
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, this is so important.
Yeah?
What if I mess it all up?
Mary, this is what you've been wanting for years. This is it.
But now it matters. They want me to help them. How do I do that? Who am I?
You're Mary Ross. You're the hardest working, most determined reporter that I know.
I write obituaries.
Wrote obituaries. Not anymore. Now you're the woman who's going to be responsible for that thing one day saying, "This just in from Ottawa." Catherine believed in you. They believe in you. And so do I.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry I got so emotional.
Don't apologize. This is important. And it's going to be hard. But you're going to do it.
Okay. Yes.
Remember the most important part.
Grammar?
Truth. Tell the truth. The rest will fall into place.
What enchanting tales of America are you weaving in today's letter, my love?
Well, telling Papa about our beautiful new home and how much I love you. The usual.
Leonard uses the vacuum often, and despite his protests, he does the dishes whenever I ask. He really is generally very neat and clean, except for his cigar ashes. Now, where exactly is the part where you tell them you love me?
You missed it.
Ah, I do love him very much, even if he is messy. Guilty as charged. Have you heard from your sisters yet?
Not yet. I think the mail runs slower here than in Germany. A record? Aren't we going to the theater? The air conditioning will feel wonderful. Chicago is so hot in July.
Not tonight. I need to talk to you about something.
What is it, Len? Are you feeling well?
Oh, I feel fine. It's about a case. Mr. Darrow sent me a letter.
Oh?
Mm-hmm. Seems some women in Ottawa need a lawyer. He's retired, but he thinks with my background that it would be a good fit.
Len?
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Then say it for me.
Okay, I work too hard, I don't get enough sleep, and that I shouldn't take the case.
That's right. You promised to take some time off.
But this one's different. These women are being killed by the company they work for.
How can they be alive and be killed? Wait, do you mean the ghost ladies of Ottawa? Oh, Len, I've read about them. The newspapers have been publishing heartbreaking stories for the last year. They cannot find representation because they cannot pay. Oh, I see.
Yes, this one is pro bono. And if I take the case, you know what will happen. I'll work 18-hour days. There won't be any extra money from movies or restaurants or nights out on the town. We've only been married a year, and all we've managed to accumulate is a tiny apartment, a meager savings, and a pile of bills. If we lose this case, my reputation as an attorney could be destroyed. We could lose everything.
This is how you convince me to say yes?
No, it's just the truth. Oh, but you know me, Trudel. I believe that helping abused and exploited people, well, that's what I've been put on this earth to do. But at the same time, I also love you. And I can't do this without your support. So tell me, is this too much to ask? Now you have to tell me the truth.
Len, you're right. I do know you. And it's in your soul to help. And telling you not to help is like asking the sun not to rise.
But I see the mental strain and exhaustion you put yourself through for your cases. You care about people, but I care about you. Make the appointment, but no promises. We'll see what they have to say.
You got the latest one ready yet?
Just finished it up.
This is good, Mary. Really good. But they've all been good.
The Illinois Industrial Commission hearing is only 3 days away. What are we going to do if this doesn't work?
It's going to work. Edmund Byers is a big deal. The governor's even added industrial poisons to the occupational diseases list. People are starting to wake up.
Doesn't feel like it.
They are. They will.
They can't win if the public isn't on their side.
I know. I've said quite a few prayers.
Well, let's hope God hears the prayers of reporters, because so have I.
This way, please.
Good afternoon, ladies. Leonard Grossman, please be seated. Nice to meet you. Young lady.
Helen.
Leonard.
Welcome.
Be seated.
Welcome. Sit here.
We have to be honest, Mr. Grossman. We cannot pay you.
Marie!
What? I'm tired of wasting time. He has to know the truth up front. 2 years and we've talked to 26 lawyers. They wouldn't even listen to us.
Well, I'm listening.
Nearly all of our husbands have lost their jobs, and we're all too sick to work.
Every penny we have goes to doctor bills, new treatments, and medicine just to make the pain bearable.
Mary Ross's articles have helped, but not enough. Every lawyer we've talked to tells us that the statute of limitations has run out. We should have filed within 6 months of getting sick, but we didn't know we had radium poisoning. They kept telling us we were fine.
Catherine, the newspapers say that you're the spokeswoman of the group. Talk to me about what you want.
I don't want to be here, sir. I don't want to be a spokeswoman or newspaper famous or anything that I have been called so far. I have never wanted to cause any trouble for anyone. What I want, what I have always wanted, is to be at home with my babies. I want to hug them and kiss them, and I can't even do that. It's bad enough what Radium Dial did to me, but they took me away from my children too. All of our children. And on the other hand, if I stay home, if I do what I want, then Radium Dial will go on stealing other women's time with their children, if they even live long enough to have them. So that's why I'm here. Why we're all here. We want justice, Mr. Grossman. Please help us get it.
All right. We'll do it. We'll take the case.
Thank you, Mr. Grossman. Thank you.
The first step. Catherine, I believe that you have the strongest case, so we will begin with you. Is everyone in agreement?
What can I do to help?
We'll need copies of your medical records. We need to ask for a 6-month extension. You can't endure 6 more months, can't you?
Of course.
Good. Then all you have to do is stay in the best health you can for the next 6 months. But for now, go home. Spend time with your babies. We'll take it from here.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say? A what? No, I know what it is. Why? But this could help them. This could change everything. No, I understand. I do. I don't like it, but no, I know. Thank you for talking to me. Duh!
You finally found Grace's lawyer?
Yeah, Raymond Berry himself.
And he didn't want to help.
Couldn't help. He kept winning his cases and then dropped off the radar. Turns out United States Radium said they wouldn't pay out unless he first promised never to represent any other dial painters, and then sign an NDA. They backed him into a corner. He did what was best for his client, but now...
Grossman has to start from scratch.
Exactly. As far as Catherine's case is concerned, the New Jersey trial of the decade never happened. Barry has all his research, the court precedent is set, everything. It's all right there in his hands, but legally, Grossman can't have it.
Well, let's hope Grossman can pull some sneaky lawyer trick out of a magic hat. Catherine's done.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's also hope he doesn't go too far into debt and quit like her first lawyer did.
I've heard Grossman's taken chickens and old work shoes as payment before.
Why are you whispering? He's not here. From what I can tell, Grossman works for the cause, not for the cash. But cash puts beans on the table. I thought getting Barry's research would be the breakthrough we needed in this case. Now I don't know how we can help.
Wonder what size shoe he wears.
The children are finally napping. Mr. Grossman wrote you a note. What are you reading?
This ad in the paper says there's a new cure for radium sickness. The last one didn't work, but this one might.
I was just about to go to the drugstore. I'll ask the pharmacist if he knows anything about it.
Thank you. I hope it's here by Christmas.
Me too. I'll be home soon.
Dear Catherine, thanks to my darling Trudel and her translations from the original German, we finally understand that despite your differences in symptoms, that you and your friends are suffering from the same disease. Radium simply settles in different areas of your body based on your own pre-existing comorbidities. Other illnesses that you may have already been predisposed to have. This is an exciting discovery and one we will pursue further. I'm sure you've heard the weather report. Another ice storm is predicted. But fear not, I will get to you before Christmas.
Oh, and how do you propose we do that?
Oh, Trudel, light of my life. We'll rent a private plane.
But how will we pay for it, my love?
In shoes and chickens.
Hello, baby girl. You're supposed to be napping.
I'm not sleepy.
Me either.
Can I sit with you?
Well, I would love that, but...
I'll be careful not to hurt you, Mommy.
Okay. Mary Jane, do you know how much I love you?
More than all the stars.
More than all the stars.
Sing me the star song, Mommy, please.
Can you count the stars of evening that are shining in the sky? Can you count the clouds that daily over all the world go by? God the Lord, who doth not slumber, keepeth all the boundless number. But he careth more for thee, but he careth more for thee.
Good morning, Len.
Is it?
Nearly.
Oh.
Speak freely, dear.
Radium dial is killing them, Trudel. Over the last 15 years, they've hired over 600 women. That's 600 families they've affected with this poison.
You've done everything you possibly could.
Catherine has to live.
She fell. She fell.
Oh, Trudel. Every time I meet with her, she looks less like a woman and more like a ghost. It could be days. It could be hours. My heart, it jolts every time that phone rings.
It sounds to me like you've both got dragons to slay. Let's go get her armor.
Fortitude. Courage in pain or adversity. Oh, Peg, I miss you.
Is this the right one?
Yes.
I'll be loving you always with a love that's true.
I love you.
I love you.
I think carrying you in the chair would be best, since it's such a short walk. I've asked a friend to come by and help. Well, that should be him now.
Need some help?
Chuck.
I told you I'd do anything you needed.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your Honor, I would like to request, due to Mrs. Donohue's health, that she be allowed to remain seated during these proceedings.
Your Honor, that is highly unorthodox.
This is not a trial. It is only a hearing, Mr. McGinn.
I understand that, but I have every right to be able to cross-examine properly.
I'll allow it. Be seated.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We will now hear arguments in the case of Catherine Donohue versus Radium Dial. Mr. Grossman, Mr. McGinn, are you ready to begin?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Grossman, you may proceed.
Are you ready? Once a healthy, vibrant woman, Mrs. Donohue is now a shell of her former self. She has been afflicted with many ailments, chief among them is osteonecrosis, a disease which has left her body maimed and debilitated. She suffers from fainting spells and pain in her mouth so profound that she cannot eat. Now, I intend to prove that these conditions are a direct result of her work at the Radium Dial Company. All she asks of this court is justice. Justice for herself and for the many other women who have suffered and even died because of the inhumane treatment they received from a company that used and abused them simply for monetary gain.
Silence, please. Mr. McGinn, opening statements.
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Donohue's claims, well, they're just that, claims. The facts are these. Mrs. Donohue hasn't been in the employ of Radium Dial for many years, so we simply have no way of knowing the root cause of her illness. The statute of limitations has long since run out. Secondly, the detail missing from Mr. Grossman's opening remarks is free will. Mrs. Donohue chose to work for Radium Dial. She chose to put the paint in her mouth, and even after she claims that her health began to fail, she chose to continue working. She was given a clean work environment, high wages, and treated with the utmost respect. Mrs. Donohue even encouraged her friends to remain in the employ of Radium Dial as long as possible, calling it good, reliable work. Does this sound like someone who fears for her life? I think not. Finally, and most importantly, radium is not soluble. It does not dissolve in water and cannot be absorbed into the blood. Therefore, in the eyes of the Occupational Disease Act, radium is not a poison.
Mr. Grossman, you may now begin your examination of Mrs. Donohue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Donohue, Mr. McGinn has already alluded to your long tenure at Radium Dial. Could you please tell us specifically about your work while in their employ?
My coworkers and I were paid according to how many watch dials we could paint. I was able to paint over 200 dials per day. We used camel's hair brushes and were instructed to put them in our mouths to make a fine point. We then dipped the brushes into the radium solution and painted the number on the watch face. This process was repeated for each number.
Let's see, working that out, that's 12 numerals per dial times 200 dials a day. That means you put a radium-soaked brush in your mouth over 2,000 times a day. Does that number sound right to you?
It does.
Yes! This is a full-page advertisement from the Straher Daily Times Press, dated June 9th, 1928. Mrs. Donohue, have you ever seen this before?
Yes. When we began to feel sick, we didn't know what was happening. We went to Mr. Reed for some answers. He had the company doctors examine us, and they said that nothing was wrong. Then, Mr. Reed showed us this advertisement and told us we had nothing to worry about. He promised us that Radium Dial would never do anything to harm us, and we believed him. He said that radium was safe and that it was good for us, that it would make us pretty. Do we look pretty?
Mrs. Donohue, you just testified that the company doctors examined you. Did you ask for copies of their results?
Yes. They refused to give them to us.
Oh, I see. But now you claim that your teeth and jaw were affected by the radium that you ingested. Do you have any evidence to show the court to that effect?
Yes. This is part of my jaw and some of my teeth. They rotted and fell out due to the radiation in my body.
Objection, Your Honor. There is no proof that Mrs. Donohue has radiation in her body, nor that it's the cause of her illness.
Mr. Grossman, is there valid proof of the connection coming?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. If I may conduct an experiment, could we turn the lights out in the room and test the truth of Miss Donohue's claims?
Objection. This is pure theatrics. It has nothing to do with Mrs. Donohue's claims.
I'll allow Mr. Grossman, but I hope you are not using theatrics to persuade this court.
Oh, no, Your Honor. It's merely an experiment. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated while the lights are out.
Look, it's true. They're all glowing.
Objection! These other women are not part of the testimony.
Thank you, Mrs. Donohue. Your Honor, I reserve the right to recall this witness.
Mr. McGee, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Mrs. Donohue, you're released for now. Mr. Grossman?
Yes, Your Honor. I would now like to call Mrs. Donohue's dentist, Dr. Walter Dalich, to testify.
Here, Your Honor.
This case is all about definitions. In his opening remarks, Mr. McGinn opined that radium is not a poison. But according to this century dictionary, any substance which is introduced into a living organism directly and tends to destroy the life or impair the health of that organism is a poison. Dr. Dalich, when Mrs. Donohue was instructed to point the tip of a radium-laced brush between her lips, in your opinion, was that radium then introduced into her body directly?
Yes.
And did that substance impair the health of Catherine Donohue?
Absolutely, yes.
Then, Dr. Dalich, in your professional opinion, does that mean that radium is a poison?
Objection!
Overruled. Dr. Dalich, you may answer.
In my professional opinion, yes, it is a poison.
Is Mrs. Donohue's condition treatable?
No. The radium has affected her entire body. There's no known element that can counteract that effect.
Dr. Dalich, do you believe that radium poisoning has destroyed Catherine Donahue's life?
Well,
Dr. Dalich, will radium poisoning lead to Mrs. Donahue's imminent death?
You see, it's not. It's not. Out of my way. Here. Get her out of here. Go.
Don't, please don't leave me.
I'll never leave you.
Dr. Dalich?
Your Honor, I will be shocked if she survives the night.
Court is in recess until tomorrow.
Will Mrs. Donohue be able to continue?
She has to. She's a test case. There are 11 other women waiting for justice. If Mrs. Donohue dies before the verdict is rendered, the case will be dismissed, and the remaining victims will have no other recourse.
What will you do?
Well, Mrs. Donohue is clearly in need of complete bed rest. With her permission, I will petition the court to move the hearing to her home. Evil cannot continue to hide in the shadows when light exists to expose it. And as you saw in the courtroom today, these women are literally beacons of light, exposing the corruption of a company that they trusted. Mrs. Donohue and her friends are the ghost ladies of Ottawa, and they need justice now more than ever.
What about the statutes of limitations? Do you plan to address that tomorrow?
Absolutely. Mrs. Donohue was fired in 1931 for limping. As she testified today, when she asked to see her medical records, she was refused the right to review them. Mrs. Donohue was unable to find a doctor willing to truthfully diagnose her till 1934. Therefore, due to their fraudulent concealment, the company negated the original statute, which they claim began at her firing. Instead, an automatic addition of 5 years since diagnosis of the disease should be added.
What do you have to say about Mr. McGid's claims of free will?
Well, free will does exist in the life of every man and woman. But free will can only exist if all the facts are truthfully presented. Mrs. Donohue chose to put the pain in her mouth, but only after she was instructed to do so by an authority figure. And when she questioned the safety of that act, she was assured that it would not harm her, that in fact it could be good for her. That is not free will. That is a deception as old as the garden itself. Look, if you'll excuse me, I need to check on Mrs. Donohue.
Two years ago, the Occupational Diseases Act declared that injuries caused by poison were not covered under the law. Radium Dial countered by declaring that radium was indeed a poison. Now that the ODA has reversed course and declared that radium is a poison, the company suddenly decides it's not. Don't you see the hypocrisy?
No, I see evolving science.
But...
Listen, sister, let me tell you what else I see. I see this girl reporter thing that you got going on, and let me give you some free advice. Leave the science to the scientists and the law to the lawyers. We say it, you report it. Stay in your lane.
Listen, buddy, you're talking to the best reporter in this town.
Grant, it's okay. You don't have to fight my battles for me.
Ah, I get it. I'd be her sugar daddy too if I were you. What the?
You monster! How could you say those things? About Catherine? About us? We trusted Radium Dial, and they lied.
Who are you?
Who am I? I am one of the ghost ladies of Ottawa. And because of the company that you are defending, I am never going to have another child. The only thing that I could grow inside of me were tumors. Massive tumors. They had to sterilize me, Mr. McGid. Do you know what that means? Do you know how devastating that is, how it makes me feel? All I ever wanted was a large family, and now it is never going to happen. We just want Radium Dial to acknowledge what they did to us, what they stole from us. We want justice.
Listen, you can't steal something that was given away. You made the choice. Now you got to live with it.
Hey! Reed! They trusted you, and you lied to them. For what? Money? A promotion? Supervisor Reed? Were you too scared to tell the truth, Rufus? Hey, I'm talking to you. Were you a liar and a coward? Get over here! You're a murderer! You killed my wife! Let go! Hey.
Stop. Catherine Wolf is a liar and a fake. And even if she is sick, well then, syphilis is what caused it.
Syphilis! I'll show you syphilis, little weasel! You better run!
What are you doing? Back.
Catherine! Chuck, get Catherine home.
Chicago, Illinois, in a dramatic court case that captivated the minds and hearts of all Americans, the final briefs for Donohue versus Radium Dial were filed last week. Keen-eared listeners will recall that Mrs. Catherine Donohue collapsed during testimony when informed that her diagnosis was terminal. Mrs. Donohue gave her second day of testimony from her home. Leonard J. Grossman, the legal representative for Mrs. Donohue, has indicated that there is now nothing left but the waiting. A verdict is rumored to be delivered any day in response to a letter from Mrs. Donohue pleading for prayers that she may live to see justice. Father James Keene has alerted thousands of believers via his weekly broadcast to join him in public prayer on behalf of this bereaved woman. This is a developing story.
Listen, I just got off the line with Mac. He's heard about people dying from the radium in Jersey. No, not the ones who ingested it. People who were with them. A husband that slept in the same bed, and a former dial painter whose daughter's now having a problem with the bones of her fingers protruding through the skin. She thinks her kid inherited her radium sickness. We may have been wrong. This could be transmissible. Please, don't touch anybody or anything until we know more. All right. Goodbye.
Everything all right?
Mm-hmm. It was Grant.
Any news?
Not yet. But I can say
I am so glad you're not in prison.
So am I. Thanks for that.
Hey, it wasn't only me. There were plenty of eyewitnesses to say that Reed threw the first punch.
I'm embarrassed.
Don't be. It was impressive and very courageous. How's she been?
Weaker every day, but still praying for a miracle. Her courage puts any I may have to shame. You know, we just haven't had enough time together. Then again, I'm not sure 60 years together would be enough.
Have you heard from Grossman today?
Not yet, and he usually checks in around lunchtime.
He must have broken the record for hours on the job. 18 hours a day for what, 6 months? And now it's day 8 of waiting.
Grossman's not the only one who's put in long hours. Catherine and I are so appreciative of the articles you've written on her behalf. It's changed how people see her.
No, thank you. Being a small part of Catherine's story has meant the world to me.
Tom?
I'm here. Hello.
Hi. Oh, Tom. I must look aside.
I remember that night you came to Chuck's party. You were a vision in that green dress. I felt my heart flutter and knew it would never belong to me again. You are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and I am so blessed to be your husband. Mary Ross is here.
Oh, Mary. It's so good to see you.
I'll be right back. Can I help you?
Are you Mr. Donohue, Mr. Tom Donohue?
Yes.
It took me 3 hours to get here. Is the missus inside?
Yes, but I'm so sorry. She can't see anyone just now.
I don't need to see her. I just wanted to let her know that she's a hero to me and the fellas at the factory. We took up a collection. Would you give this to her for me? And would you let her know that we're praying for her?
I will. Thank you.
Please give these flowers to your wife. We thought a little color might cheer her up. And let her know that my family and I are praying for a cure.
Thank you.
Please give this letter to Catherine. We want it to be an encouragement to her, and we're all praying for her.
And I want you to say that my faith in God has never left me.
My friend Catherine used to say the same thing. She and Grace were the women from New Jersey I told you about. Grace is the one that used to say that every believer has a happy ending, and if it isn't happy, then it's not the ending. Do you think that's true?
I do.
It seems as if your poor husband might be drowning in gifts. Things are changing. You've started a movement.
Good. Promise me you'll keep writing our story so others won't have to die.
I promise.
Thank you. There's a note right there on the table, on top. When the time is right, would you read it for me?
I will.
Thank you.
Donohue residence.
Tom, is everything all right?
It's Grant. He's at the courthouse. The verdict is in. She's won.
She won? Let me talk to him.
You did it. Radium Dial is guilty of making you sick. You've won.
I'm so happy. I'm so very, very happy.
What's she doing?
I don't know. She does it sometimes.
Catherine.
And so she won. Radium Dial was ordered to compensate her for all her back pay, medical costs, everything. Catherine Wolfe Donohue, who always kept her word, promised to stay alive so her friends could see justice. And she did. Against all odds, she did. Because there is no spirit so strong as the one that loves her friends and family. Radium Dial appealed because evil won't accept defeat. And so Leonard J. Grossman kept his word and continued fighting. He fought all the way to the door of the Supreme Court, but it wasn't necessary. They struck down the appeal. The case was put to rest. You did good, Mary. You and Grossman, you did good.
Thanks.
You mind if I keep this? I've got a scrapbook going. This would be a good one for the collection.
July 29th, 1938. This just in from Ottawa, Illinois. Keen-eared listeners will recall the saga of the doomed dial painter, Catherine Wolfe Donohue. Her story has captivated minds and hearts the past several months, thanks mainly to a series of articles by Ottawa Daily Gazette's reporter, Mary Ross. Mrs. Donohue, a beloved member of her community.
A beloved member of her community? She's so much more than that.
What's on your mind, Mary Ross?
You know, I've got a cat that's been my constant companion for 15 years. I have an actual apartment, not some dive over a meat market. I have a job that I love that's been my entire life with the best coworker and friend I could ask for. And I just heard my name on the radio. I have everything I've ever wanted.
How does it feel?
Bittersweet.
Yeah. Sometimes when we get what we want, we don't want how we get it. But you earned this, Mary. You've got a good life. We both do. Come on, we better hurry. The sun waits for no man or woman.
Our hearts are broken because we knew her. And we are so thankful for that pain. We find comfort in the words of Isaiah. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases their strength. The youth shall faint and be weary, and young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint.
I ever wanted was to live a simple, quiet life with my husband and children. But we don't get to choose our destinies, and so this was mine. But God can still use me for His good. If things change because of me, if my friends can live, if other women never get sick, then that's the beauty that will come from these ashes. I wish I was there with you all, but please do not grieve. All I ever wanted was to be home. And if you look up, now I am.
Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home. What joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Feels like it took me forever to get here. I had so much to do.
You're right on time, Catherine. Welcome home.
How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou
I'm gonna teach, I'm gonna reach the stars. I'm gonna live, I'm gonna give away my heart. I've got so many plans, this world won't know what to do. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna lead the charge. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna dance and give away my heart. I'm gonna take this day to live, love, and laugh. 'Cause right now is the only time we really have. I'm just passing through. This world can't contain all I plan to do. One day they'll see all of me, and this world will come to know my name, and my life will never ever be the same, 'cause I'm only passing through. Moment by moment and day by day, time in an hourglass slipping away. I want to hold you forever and more. And the future for us is not here and now. When we part, we must go on somehow. One thing I'm sure of, one thing I know. My love for you will continue to grow. I'm passing through. All the dreams we had together now belong to you, and I'll think of you while you dance for two, and you can think of me, and as you do, yes, you can think of me, and as you do, I'll know through you I was more than passing through. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, look at us!
1.